Do you have this one very specific skill that's been linked to lower levels of depression, anxiety, and self-criticism, as well as greater life satisfaction, emotional intelligence, and wisdom? My name's Hazel Gale. I'm a former therapist turned author and creator of the Betwixt app, and this video is about self-sabotage. Imagine you just did one of those things that you look back on afterwards and think, why the hell did I do that? Perhaps you binged on junk food, or you spent all of your savings on clothes, drank too much, overshared, underperformed, whatever your personal poison. How do you respond to the error after the fact? The most common reaction is to automatically reach for self-discipline. Whether we punish ourselves, berate ourselves, or call ourselves names, we understandably aim to correct the problem so we won't do it again. But here's the thing. When it comes to self-sabotage, beating ourselves up doesn't solve problems, but creates them. It beds the habit in, compounding it and making it more likely to happen again. This is because the things that we call self-sabotage grow out of unmet needs and a disconnect with ourselves and our emotions. The self-sabotage itself is a cry for help, not necessarily for others to hear, but for ourselves to hear. And so beating ourselves up is literally the worst thing that we could do. You can't shame yourself into being better because the part of you that's acting out is looking for love and attention. That part wants to be seen and heard by you. So if you try to silence it, or beat it into submission, or hide it, it'll only ever need to shout louder. And this is why you simply cannot fight yourself and win. Instead, you need to learn how to practice self-compassion. Now, if this term feels horribly fluffy and woo-woo to you, bear with me, because in recent years there have been literally thousands of scientific papers written on self-compassion, which have shown this ability to be linked with positive mental health, decreased psychopathology, increased well-being and resilience, improved physical health, and much, much more. Dr. Kristen Neff, who's an associate professor at the University of Texas and probably the biggest name in this world of research, breaks self-compassion down into three interconnected components. The first is mindfulness, as in an awareness of the pain you're experiencing as you experience it. I need to note that this doesn't necessarily need to be achieved through meditation. Here we are simply talking about the ability to be mindful, to be aware of what's going on with you. Meditation can get you there, but so can journaling, therapy, using an app like Betwixt, of course, or just a healthy dollop of curiosity. The second component of self-compassion is self-kindness. This means the ability to offer yourself the same kind of love, support, and kindness that you would extend to somebody else, say a friend in need. How? Well, this can be done in a reflective journaling practice. A longitudinal study conducted in 2010 found that writing a self-compassionate letter to oneself once a day for 5 days not only decreased depression levels for 3 months, but also increased happiness levels for 6 months after the study. But you don't have to put pen to paper. You can practice self-kindness by talking to yourself either in your head or out loud during any difficult moment. For example, you might want to swap "you stupid idiot" for "it's okay" after making a mistake. Or you could set an alarm on your phone to remind yourself to spend 2 minutes a day just kindly talking to yourself about whatever's happened in the last 24 hours. And finally, you need to practice a sense of common humanity and connectedness, which is the third component of self-compassion according to Neff. This quite beautifully means actively remembering that imperfection is a natural part of the human condition. It's something that we all share and that brings us together rather than sets us apart. I think most of us know that intellectually, but the key is to train yourself to remember it when you most need it. So that's it. That's the simple but not necessarily easy answer to self-sabotage. In order to regain control in those moments when we feel most out of control, we need to drop the habit of self-punishment or self-discipline and reach for self-compassion instead. Starting with mindfulness, holding our painful thoughts and feelings in balanced awareness rather than over-identifying with them. Then practicing self-kindness by extending kindness and understanding to ourselves rather than harsh judgment and self-criticism. And finally, staying in touch with our sense of common humanity, seeing our own experiences as part of the larger human experience rather than seeing them as separating, isolating, and therefore shameful. It's by doing these things that we give the part that's acting out the thing that it most needs in order to let go of the sabotaging message that it was sending. Self-compassion is how we make the denied, resisted parts of the self feel seen and heard. As always, I really hope this helps. Hit follow for more, and if you'd like to take an epic journey through a magical world in pursuit of mental wellness, then you can download Betwixt, the mental health game, a fantasy text-based adventure app that combats stress and anxiety. Available on the iOS App Store and Google Play.